Hey guys, how's it going? Yuri here. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're ready for an awesome week leading up to Christmas. And because it's this time of year where we tend to reflect, looking back on this year and look at what went right, what went wrong, what can we learn from our mistakes. Hopefully we're doing that, right? So I want to gear you up this week to help you get ready for 2012 to make it your best year ever. And I'm also going to pop in closer to Christmas itself to give you some specific diet and nutrition tips to help you prevent falling asleep at the table from all that food. It's going to be fun, but I'm going to give you some important tips, so stay tuned. So every day this week I'm going to give you a new video, and we're going to go to a couple different things. So we're going to start off today with what I think is really, really important. I came across this a little while ago, and it was Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Governator, yes. His 6 tips or 6 rules for a successful life. Now, funny story, before I get into these, I have a friend of mine who used to call me urinator. So like, obviously not like that, not that I used to urinate, but Yuri and then the nader part, because I used to do this, I guess I was well known for doing these Arnold impressions. So he used to call me the urinator. So I have this connection to Arnold, not because I talk like Arnold, but because he's an awesome guy, that kind of stuff. Anyways, whatever your opinions are of Arnold Schwarzenegger, what I'm going to share with you today is very valuable. And we can't deny the fact that Arnold is an amazing example of accomplishment and confidence and achieving your dreams. So I want to share 6 of his rules that have allowed him to achieve this degree of success. And I think that they can apply to really anyone. I mean, if you look at this list, you'll be able to say, okay, yes, I'm doing this, or no, I'm not doing this, or this applies to me, or this doesn't apply to me. So grab a pen and paper, write these down if you want, and really start living your life by these rules, because they'll make a huge difference. The first one is ask yourself, who do you want to be? Okay? Like when we were young, our parents or somebody else used to ask us, what do you want to be when you grow older? I want to be a fireman, an astronaut, professional soccer player. But they don't really ask us who we want to be when we grow older. And I think that's a really important question, and so obviously did Arnold, is asking yourself, who do I want to be? What type of person do I want to become? And even if you're 40 years old or 70, remember, it's never too late to change. You can always be asking yourself, who do I want to become? Who do I need to become to be living the life that I want to live? And I think it's a very important question, because you start to, one of the biggest reasons that people sabotage themselves is because of this incongruency of identity. So for instance, if you start making all these healthy changes in your life, and all of a sudden your identity subconsciously is not in line with those habits or those new changes, you will eventually sabotage yourself. So asking yourself, what type of person, who do I need to become, or who do I need to be, who do I want to be totally fulfilled and happy? That's a very, very important question. And I think if you really sit down and introspect, you'll probably get some really interesting answers. And from that, it'll help you make some better decisions. So that's the first one. The second one, that's more of a question, I guess. The second one is to not be afraid of failing. Okay, so don't be afraid to fail. So many people, and I've worked with clients in the past. I actually worked with, well, I'm going to give you an example of a specific client I had in the past. Really nice lady. We worked out for several years together, but for whatever reason, she always got to the point in our workouts where she would stop just before the end. It's almost as if she was kind of pulling back because she was almost apprehensive or scared of not being able to complete the whole workout or the entire set. That's just that's a microcosm example. But don't be afraid to fail. The only way we can achieve greatness is by stretching our limits, and maybe we'll fail, and that's fine, because that's where, that's how we learn. But that's also where the breakthroughs come. So don't be afraid to fail, because on the other side of that, if we're looking at failure, if you want to call that, as this dividing line between staying where you are and getting to the next stage of where you want to be, failure is that line we kind of have to cross sometimes. And if we don't take the risks, again, it doesn't have to be financial risks or risks that are going to put our body in danger, but sometimes it's okay to push the envelope. And if you fail, that's okay, because that's how we learn. And then we correct course, and then we go back, right? It's like, let me think of an example here. like an airplane. Like if you're flying an airplane, there's a certain amount of wind resistance, and if you have a crosswind, the airplane, instead of going in the straight direction, will be veering off, on a diagonal. So what do the pilots or the autopilot system do is they correct, right? So they get pushed to the side, they correct. They push to the side, they correct, and then just keep on going like that. So it's the same thing in any area of life is, don't be afraid to fail. Things are going to happen, learn from it, and just move on. The third rule is to not listen to naysayers, right? And this is probably one of the biggest things, and I talk about this a lot, is surrounding yourself with the right type of people. Your environment is so important because the nature of people, not all people, not you, but other people, is that if they see you succeeding, they're going to want to pull you down. And there's a great example of one of my business coaches, Bedros Keuilian. He used this example called, it was a real life example. He was on a cruise in Alaska, and he was on the ship and noticed that there was this fisherman with a bucket of crabs. And so the crabs were sitting in this bucket. All of a sudden, one crab started to crawl out of the bucket. So Bedros told the fisherman, he's like, sir, one of your crabs is getting out. And the fisherman replied, don't worry, watch what's going to happen here. So as the crab started to crawl out, what happened? All the other crabs at the bottom of the bucket reached up and pulled him down. How true is that in everyday life? Okay? So you want to eliminate the crabs out of your life and do not listen to the naysayers. All they're saying, if they say, no, you can't do this, is that, no, I can't do this. Okay? So don't listen to them. You always have to tell yourself that you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Because at the end of the day, the only obstacle we'll ever face is up here. Okay? So you have to really reinforce your mind with positive thoughts and belief that you can do anything that you want. Okay? Now, the fourth thing is to work your butt off. Very simple. Muhammad Ali once was asked by a reporter, how many sit-ups do you do? Or how, in a given workout. And Muhammad Ali responded something to the effect of this. He's like, I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when they start hurting. And that's really, Muhammad Ali was just, a lot of great quotes like that. He would often say that success is determined, or success is won, or the battle is won when no one else is looking, right? So he, just kind of highlighting the fact that he would work harder when other people were not watching. He didn't care about all that, he's doing a lot of stuff in the gym while other people are sleeping, that kind of stuff. Anyways. The essential thing is you need to work your butt off. Okay, if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get any results. This is very, very simple. It's really as simple as that. So you can have all the tools, all the strategies, all the knowledge, but again, if you don't put it into practice, if you don't take action, if you don't work out, if you don't eat well, it doesn't matter. Okay, you have to work hard, and that's really what separates the most successful people in all areas of life versus those who don't really achieve their full potential. And everyone has potential to achieve incredible greatness. It doesn't matter if, whoever you are, wherever you live, everyone has this potential to really achieve incredible greatness. So you have to work yourself. You have to work to achieve that, though. It's not going to be innately born into you. And there we go. The fifth one is to give back, right? The sense of contribution. And this is very, very important. If you look at a lot of the longest living cultures around the world, like these blue zones, one of the biggest things is their sense of community. Okay, it's not just that they're eating better, but it's also this sense of social community that's really important to them. And they do things within these communities to give back, and it can be something as simple as taking care of their grandkids, or contributing to tribal traditions. Giving back can take many different forms, and it doesn't have to be financial all the time, right? It can be helping somebody cross the road. We see. I go to the gym in the mornings, and on my way to the gym, there's these crossing guards, and they just stand out there all day. And what they do is they just help kids cross the road. And I've always wondered. I'm like, wow, that's not an easy job to do, but you really have to love it and have a sense of contribution that what you're doing is making a difference in other people's lives. Okay, so our final rule, according to the Governator, Arnold, is to break the rules and think outside the box. And I think Arnold was a great example of this because he never, again, he's a kid from Austria who always had the dream of coming over to America and achieving his dreams. He started off in bodybuilding, became the most confident, arrogant bodybuilder that we've probably ever seen. I think he won 6 Mr. Universes, something like that, just crazy, crazy, crazy. At that time, he decided he was going to become a Hollywood star. This is, when he's in his early 20s. And then from there, he goes on to politics, right? I mean, if he was born in the States, he probably would have become president. Who knows? Now, what I want to suggest to you guys is if you have not seen his movie, Pumping Iron, I'd highly recommend watching this because, it's not about, again, it's not necessarily about bodybuilding or, well, I mean, if you're into bodybuilding, it's a really cool movie as well. But more interestingly is that you'll get to see the type of person he is and the type of psychology that he has that's allowed him to achieve the success that he's achieved. So again, the movie is called Pumping Iron. It's one of the best movies that I've seen. It's one of the most eye-opening and inspiring movies. And whether or not you like Arnold's, it doesn't matter. Just put aside, whatever it is, 70 minutes or 75 minutes. This is an awesome movie. And because it's holiday season, take a bit of time, look back, look forward as well, and start pumping yourself up with this kind of stuff. It's really, really empowering, really inspiring. And again, if a kid from Austria can come across the world and dominate bodybuilding, become a Hollywood star, and then become a prominent political figure in the most popular or successful country in the world, just imagine what you can do. Okay, so all you have to do is remember that these 6 rules, well, not all you have to do, but start applying some of these rules into your life and see if see if you might be lacking in 1 or 2 areas, and seeing if you can fortify those. So there we go. That's today's video. Tomorrow I'm going to be back with I'm going to share another really cool strategy that I personally use that has helped me to achieve a lot of my goals, and I'm going to share this with you tomorrow. So stay tuned. Again, if you've got any questions, just let me know, or comments below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you tomorrow.